it's your girl, Miss Fab, and you are now tuned into GTALK. We have the amazing Jermelle Dante with us today, and we're just going to be talking a little bit about some great things. So, just to kick it off a little bit, Jermelle, tell us who you are.
Who am I? So I'm 30. I just turned 30 actually. So that's a major milestone. I've been on this earth for 3 whole decades. I'm a writer. I'm a musician. I like to consider myself a creative, but I'm kind of lame, so I don't know if that's okay. But you know, they say that creatives are like awkward and like weird sometimes. I'm super awkward and weird, so I guess I am a creative.
Listen, so to all the awkward and weird people, like, you guys matter. Okay, like, you guys really matter. Okay,
you are creative. Let's see. I want to be a mix of everything. Like when I was in high school, I went through like a cultural identity crisis. I wanted to be Haitian, Jamaican, Indian, everything Trinidadian. So I went through all these different phases. But I'm African American. I'm a brother. I'm a twin. A lot of people don't know that. I'm a twin, fraternal, not identical. We look nothing alike.
Where are you from?
I'm from Fort Lauderdale, born and raised.
Born and raised in Fort Lauderdale. Listen, first of all, I just want to say, every time this man opens his mouth, I learn something new, and it's crazy. All right, so, but that's really good. So, amongst some of your talents, you mentioned songwriting, or you play instruments.
Yeah, so
what instruments you play?
I play, so my main instrument is the violin, but I also play the cello.
Not the cello, violin.
Okay, that part, you know. So let's see, I did drumline a little bit in high school, but they practiced too much, it's too hot outside, I wasn't like that.
Okay, so it sounds like you lived such a pleasant life. Yeah, you was on the baby pacifier game, and you know, you was making moves. I get it when you were younger. Then you went through high school, picked up the violin and all that stuff, went through college, dropped out, but you were living good. I wish I could say the same. But then you went back, and like now you're doing really well. Can you tell us about any time that you actually hit a rough patch? Like, because it seemed like you dropping out of school wasn't really the roughest patch.
I mean, it was, dropping out of school was a decision just because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. Like, first of all, when I was in school, I changed my major like 5 times. I had no idea what I wanted to do. Like, at first, look, it's okay.
It's
okay. Perfectly okay. I changed my major like 5 times. It was business, it was music, it was psychology, it was all over the place. But
sound like me.
Then it went to journalism. So when I dropped out of school, that's when I really started like partying and like smoking and doing drugs and stuff like that. Like, I didn't do any kind of drug or drink alcohol or nothing until I got to college. But once I did that, it was like...
Were you raised in church?
No, I wasn't.
Oh.
Not at all.
Oh.
Not at all. The only time I went to church was my grandfather was a pastor, but he died when I was in like 9th grade. So,
okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely was not raised in the church. But I mean, I always had some kind of spiritual something. I just didn't know who I was praying to or why I was praying. But and that was like every once in a blue moon. I was one of those Christians, or I was one of those Christians who only went to school, who only went to church on Easter or maybe Christmas and stuff like that. But so when I dropped out of school, that's when I started to like do more with partying and, you know, drugs and stuff like that, and that got kind of heavy. It got really, really heavy, and it got to a point where I was using it to satisfy every emotion. Whether I was happy, oh, gotta smoke. I'm mad, oh, gotta smoke. Oh, this didn't go right, oh, gotta smoke. It transitioned from smoking weed to, you know, doing mollies and doing a little bit of coke and all of that. So yeah, my life, it definitely was not all happy and a beautiful picture. It was not. I mean, I'm blessed.
Right.
I'm very blessed.
So how did you transition out of that?
I didn't transition out of it until I got back to school. Made the decision to go back to school, and then everything started to align itself, but I was still like doing drugs at the same time, going to class high, and I almost got kicked out of school because I had the whole class smell like loud. But yeah, so at this point, so I got my first internship and I was in California. I was older by myself. I didn't have any family, no friends over there. My family was down here, but they were kind of struggling. My father was dealing with cancer. So for me to be that far away from my family, trying to, make something of myself and, finish school and impress at the internship and stuff like that, it was hard. Knowing that my father was low-key on his deathbed, because the last time I saw him, he had like tubes and stuff all through him. So it was very hard to see, and just trying to live with that, it's hard. One day I woke up and I went for a walk and I just started crying. And it was just like me walking around the city early one morning. It was raining and I'm just like bawling my eyes out. And then I felt a presence, or I felt like this whole, I can't even describe it or explain it, but it was like a warmth that just kind of took over me, and I heard a voice saying everything's gonna be okay. And from that point I knew it was God. And I always heard God calling my name, but I just ignored it. I was afraid of what he would want me to do. Right. I was afraid of where he might take me, because I had my own plan for my life, what I wanted to do. Right. So I didn't want to say, "What's up, God?" I was like, right. I was running for a long time, but once I actually felt that, I was like, "Okay, God, what's up?" From there I just kind of turned around. I'm not gonna say I stopped doing drugs right then and there. Right. It was a gradual thing. Right. But the craving for it kind of went away. Like, I didn't have the same highs anymore. Like, I wasn't enjoying being high anymore. I started having bad highs. Like, I was hearing voices and picturing things, and I thought I was gonna die like a million times, and I was contemplating suicide a couple of times. Very close to it one time, but never actually carried it out.
Thank God. See, like, listen, like, sometimes people perceive people a certain way, like they see them driving a certain car, or they see them working a certain position, and just assume that their life has always been peaches and cream. And sometimes they gotta hear like the real stuff behind the facade, behind the face, behind the mask. Like, no, I went through these things too. So thank you so much for sharing that. And knowing that God was with you, even when you didn't think he was, or didn't really know who he was, and whatever the case is, like, he really came through. So that's a blessing in itself.
He did, because, like, a lot of times, what I like to do, because I don't like people to know my problems and my things. Mm-hmm. So, and a lot of people do it, like, they just mask it with a smile. Right. But one thing that God does is that he knows exactly what you're going through. Right. So he was able to speak to that. And even though, like, people on the outside may think like everything is like all perfect and beautiful, and it's really not. Like, you never know what anyone is going through.
Very true.
Like, you never know. Like, so many people just, like, recently, so many celebrities have committed suicide.
Right. And they have it all. Man. At least you think they have it all.
Right.
And they don't. They need Jesus. Anyways, thank you for sharing that. So we say all that to say now, all of that has happened. God has stayed with you throughout it all, and actually brought you back to what you're passionate about. So you talked about some of your passions. Now you work for this company that is, like, very reputable, by the way. And I'm sure some of y'all probably watch it on TV, or look it up online, or catch some articles, or whatever the case is. We are actually interviewing, like, one of the editors, the writers of, you tell them.
So I work at NBC6.
That's crazy, y'all. NBC6. Y'all ever heard of NBC6? Okay, but anyways, I'm excited just because. Okay, so NBC6. Easy. They called you. You ignored them.
I ignored them. They emailed me twice.
And now you're working with them. You've been with them for 2 years, right?
A little over 2 years.
2 years, and you write for them.
Yes.
So does your faith or religion or your beliefs affect how you write for them? Does it interfere in any kind of way?
No.
Has it ever almost?
It has almost, yes. But because I work in the media, our job is to be 100% unbiased. So if a story needs to be told, it needs to be told accurately and correctly. So I try to put my faith aside. However, when it comes to promoting a story, If I feel that a story isn't necessarily positioning a person or a group of people in the correct light, I won't put effort behind it to promote it to masses. I won't do that. Just like
and they're okay with that, whoever you work.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They give you full autonomy to be as whatever creative. Or
what I think that people will click on, that's what I can put my effort behind. If I think people won't click on, because that's how we get money, from clicks, from reads, from video views and stuff like that. Okay. If people aren't going to consume the media, then why put it out there?
Right.
So for instance, stories about let's see, pastors cheating on their wives. That may be a news story. Like, I've seen stories like that, but personally, I don't think it's a news story. The only reason that people say it's a news story is because it's a pastor. Yeah, it's a pastor, but if it was a bank teller, it's not a news story. You know what I mean? So,
interesting.
It's just about, and I never make these decisions by myself. I always ask my boss about it, because that's just not something that I want to have on myself.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to put all the weight on myself not to promote the story if someone else think that it may drive traffic to our website.
Got it. Okay. And do you have like a favorite article or something that you've done for NBC6 that you like take pride in? Like that was you.
Anytime I can write about black people, I take pride in it. And in a positive light. Anytime that I can show like the good in humanity or in the world, I love it. So one story that I wrote that I love, it was two little girls, a white girl and a black girl. That was another story, sorry. It was two stories that were kind of like the same thing.
He write a lot of stories. I don't judge you.
It's okay, so the first one is two little boys, one black boy, a white boy. They got the same haircut. They had the same first name, so they got the same haircut so that they could trick their teacher into thinking that they're twins. And that story went viral. Like, people loved it, and it shows that, like, shows the innocence of kids, and it was just love, man. It was so much love that they loved each other so much. It's like, oh man, this is my brother. And it reminded me of my best friend. My best friend's white. So yeah, I saw myself in those little kids.
That's key too, because a lot of racial things, topics are being brought up now more than ever, I think. And it's key to like be able to touch on stuff like that. It's
another story that I loved. Well, I didn't love the story, but I love what we did with the story. So one of the hardest stories that I ever wrote, or any one of the hardest news events that I covered, was the Parkland shooting. Devastating. I saw it unfold from beginning to end.
Right.
But what we did with it, one thing that I did with it, I did like an interactive timeline of how the events unfolded, when he went into the building, when he walked up the staircase, when he fired the first shots. And it was cool how it was done, because it was just like a timeline, which you can like click on it and go to the next, click something else, and it'll expand so you can read exactly what he did during that time. So it was just one thing that I love about working at NBC, is that we're very creative with how we tell stories. And working in the digital space, you can do that. There's so many different ways that you can tell a story. It's not just words on a screen. There's photo galleries, there's videos, there's sound bites. There's so many different elements that you can put inside of the story so that the viewer can digest it easier and have a better experience on our website. So hopefully they come back.
Right. Have you ever faced any like challenges working at NBC6? Is it very diverse? Like, as an African American, do you feel like sometimes there's like feeling uncomfortable? Any of those things?
All of the above.
Okay.
All of the above. So it is not lacking in diversity because we live in Miami. We are a duopoly, so we share our station with Telemundo. So a lot of our positions, they work for both stations. I only work for NBC. But the one thing that I do say, there's clearly a lot of minorities there. However, there's not very many African Americans. So that, of course, needs to change. One thing that I said And I always say this. I say once nothing is going to change until more black people are in positions of management.
Yes.
So work your way up. That's why I'm trying to get up there.
So that would be my next question. What is your advice to, young adults, African Americans, or any young adults that's trying to pursue a passion and may feel like they're the minority in that field or in that place?
Just don't stop. Don't stop, man. There's always going to take one person to change it, and you could be that person. You could be that. It takes literally one person. One of our news directors is a Hispanic woman, and you don't really see that too often. Like, the majority of the media is ran by white men. So I see her as motivation for me. If she can work herself from being a field producer all the way to a news director, running the entire show, you feel me? That's motivation. So just don't give up. And don't limit yourself. The more areas that you know of the media, the more profitable you make yourself. You're just adding stock to yourself.
Yes.
Learn as much as you can.
Good stuff. Thank you for that. And where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years. So it's funny. I was just thinking about this like a couple weeks ago. So I don't see myself in news in 5 years. I want to transition more or so to television as far as shows, telling those kind of stories like long form, like writing shows, doing promotions for those shows, stuff like that. So yeah.
So you got a vision board, you got some shows that's like, listen, you do? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I still want to write, but I just don't want to do the news anymore.
Yeah.
I want to be more expansive with how I'm telling stories. Like, I just don't want to limit telling one person's story to a 6-paragraph article. You know what I mean? Because writing stories, you can only put but so much of a person's life of what they have to say there. So yeah.
That's awesome. Listen, so I mean, I hate, because time is definitely coming to an end, and I hate to wrap this up because we can go on and on and on for the rest of the night with Jermelle about all the things that he's doing, all the things that he's done, how he's making moves, especially showing out for the African Americans. He's trying to put their, little stuff in there. But of course, every episode has to come to an end. So I just want to thank Jermelle for just spending some time with me, answering the questions, being transparent, just being cool, just being an all-around stand-up guy. And like I said, tune back into GTALK next time. Bye.